precise view of, we're going to discuss responsibility and position in like a real quick manner. So basically what is it all about? It is about access to data. Now different people within an organization, different users within an organization need the access to different data. For example, sales representatives, they need to look at the account, contacts and opportunities and maybe orders also. Call center representatives or service representatives, they don't need to look at the opportunities. They need to look at the accounts, contacts, previous service request, that is service request, and they also need to look at the assets. There are other things that they need to look at, but they don't need to look at the opportunities and orders, and definitely not quotes. How to ensure that service reps see what they need to see, sales reps see what they need to see. Similarly, marketing reps, they need to see the outbound call script as well as the people whom they need to call. Simple. They don't need to look at the leads. They don't need to look at the sales opportunities. They don't need to look at the accounts and contacts. They just need to look at this thing. So from this thing standpoint, sales rep need to look at this screen, this screen, this screen, this screen, and this screen. Okay, this is typical. I'm not saying everywhere you go it will be. Okay, just want to make sure that you understand. But I just want to give you a kind of a good like pictorial representation. Similarly, service marketing people, they need to look at prospects are not there in Siebel in this one, but they need to look at the smart scripts, and they need to look at the prospect records so that they can call people. Another thing is, then there are some people like application administrators. They need to look at only this screen. Then there are people who are marketing administrators. They need to look at only this screen and all the views in that screen. Okay. So these are different accesses. How to control the access of views to people, to various different users. In Siebel, what we do is, at the user ID level, we simply assign a view to a user.
Right.
Okay. So, for example, if I want someone to look at this view, professionals calls view, I can simply somewhere I can assign, this is the name of the view, right? I can assign this pharma professional calls view to, let's say there is a user called as AB, then I can assign pharma professional calls view to AB. Simple. Then you will be able to see it. And whatever, let's say, whatever edit rights are available here, let's say it is create is disabled, read is updated, read is enabled, whatever, he will be able to do all those operations. Whatever filter is present here, he will be able to see only those records which are filtered after the application of the filter. Okay, so this view, as you know, this is not only just records, it's also there is a logic behind it, there are validation rules behind it, there are rights behind it. So everything he will be able to see if I give the access of this view to him. It's a very simple place. In the data in the GUI, in an admin, one of the admin places within the Siebel GUI application, you look at the user record, give him the access to that view. Simple. Then he will be able to see that record. And whatever is possible at in that view, he will be able to do that. Okay. So let's say there are two users. You want both the people to be able to access professional calls view. You want one user A not to be able to edit the calls or enter the calls, but you want other person to be able to edit the calls as well as enter the calls. So what you will do is, in this case, you have to create two views. Give the view one where the edit rights and everything is disabled to user A, and give the other view where the edit rights and everything is enabled to user B. This is how we manage the access in Siebel. And we name them the same thing. So if user A opens the application, he'll say, oh, I have the access to professional calls view. But actually, he has the access to professional calls editable. And user B saying, oh, he will look at the same, his title will be same, this applets will be named the same way, labels will be same. He will say, oh, I have the access to the same view. But actually, behind the scenes, you will know that he has access to professional calls, read only. Okay, so this is how we manage the access. So the issue is this. This is very simple operation. Okay, I'm just gonna do like this. Okay, you assign this view to Mr. A. Okay, but the problem is that there won't be one user in the application and there won't be one view. Can you imagine how many views will be there? Hundreds, 200-300 views. Because look at this. Even if in one screen there are like tens of so many views are there. Look at this, 20 views probably. So if there are like 5 or 6 screens that a particular rep would be having the access to, that we are talking about 100 views per rep. Typically they would need the access to about 10 to 15 screens at 100 to 100 views. So we need to this is a big management issue now. We need to ensure that AB gets the access to all those views. But then will there be only one user? There will be multiple users, maybe 7,000-8,000 users. Like in one of the implementations I worked at, actually in IBM, they have 100,000 users. In Cisco, they have 3,000 users. In Yahoo, they have 7,000 users. So you have to, how will you do that? So the way we optimize it, I don't know about users. So we'll break it into two portions. First of all, we understand that all 1,000 users will not be having different privileges. Probably certain users, certain group of users will be having the same privilege. For example, sales reps, they will be having the access to the same views. Probably there's a good possibility. We gather the requirement, and typically I have found that there will be like, let's say in this 4,000 users, for example, there are like 40 groups. Some people need access to just 10 views. There are some people who need access to 200 views. Okay, but there are 40 different types of permutation combinations.
Right.
Okay, they need the same accesses. Okay, now let's say pick one group, desktop sales group. Okay, then there is another one, laptop sales group. Then there is another one, laptop service group, desktop service group. Okay, now desktop service group needs access to all these 100 views, and laptop service group needs access to these 50 views. So what we do is, as he said, we group the views into something. We simply group the views into something. Okay, so each and every view will be basically like this. All these 4 views, V1, V2, V3, V4, I'm not writing 1, 2, 3, 4, but you should understand that,
Yeah.
are grouped into something, and that something is assigned to AB. Okay, and we identify all the people who are going to be like AB and assign everybody the same this something. This group of views could easily be called as view group, because it is just that, it is a group of views. In Siebel world, they call it responsibility.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the English word responsibility. Please don't confuse it with responsibility. It has nothing to do with the English word responsibility. It is just a group of views which has to be assigned together to a particular person. So in Siebel, you can group the views into a responsibility and you can assign the responsibility to AB. For you to remember, you obviously will name the responsibilities as desktop responsibility, desktop sales responsibility, desktop service responsibility. But you must know what you're talking about. It is just a group of views at the end of the day. And your users, if you try to explain them the concept by responsibility, look, these responsibilities, I'm going to give you this responsibility. They will get really confused. You need to tell them this is a group of views. Okay? We cannot do anything about a group of users actually. We have to then manually give this responsibility to each and every user who needs to have that. There is no shortcut to that. Actually, what we do is, as part of data requirement gathering process, we maintain sheets, right? How do we get the requirement? They say, okay, AB and this AP and AT and John, Tom, Tim, everybody needs to have access to the same set of views. And these are the set of views they need access to. Set of views we load into Siebel using an automated process and give it a name. Sales desktop responsibility one, whatever, responsibility. And these users will load, and then we'll say, okay, these are going to be having this responsibility. This is the only way we can do this thing. So we basically, as part of the requirement gathering process, when we are talking to users, they give it in the form of the sheet. We load the same sheet. So, okay, in one of the projects I did that. It's a big cumbersome task still, because you have to maintain each and every person's responsibility, what they're supposed to have, what they're not supposed to have, and and when they will give out the data, they would, like if 40 groups are going to give me the data, then they're going to not having the same alignment. Someone will put the responsibility in the first column, someone will put the employee login ID in the next column, right? So I have to clean the sheet first, combine it together, give it to the developer. It's a big task actually. Okay. Anyway, so now you understand. So this is the responsibility. There is nothing more to responsibility than this. Okay. So the use of responsibility is that if there is another sales rep who joins, you don't have to assign views to that sales rep one by one. Just give him the desktop responsibility, desktop sales responsibility. Okay. And let's say AB changes from one department to desktop service, then you have to simply change his responsibility from desktop sales to desktop service.
Service.
It's kind of very easy. Okay. Let's see where it is done.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to log in as a user abiggs. He has access to only these screens, and let's see. He has access to only these views. Can you recall any view that he doesn't have the access to? Does he have the access to account categories? He has access to account calls. Does he have the access to account opportunities? No, he has access to assets and opportunities, but not the opportunities. So let's give him the access to that opportunity. Okay. There are two ways of doing that. Either here, look, come here. We can make that view a part of his responsibility, but then remember that everybody who has a responsibility will get the access to the same view too, which we don't want. So we'll create a new responsibility, give him the access to that, make that view as part of the set new responsibility, and then add it to one more responsibility to ABX.
Right.
Okay? This is also possible. Okay, so person have two responsibilities. This is just to help people in management of responsibility access. So I'm going to go in as admin. Okay. First of all, we should know the name of that view. So name of the account opportunities view is what? This is the view. Pharma account opportunities view. Okay. This is the place where you go. You go to application administration, responsibilities. You create a new responsibility as I already explained. Because we are making it only for ABIGS, I'm naming it after him. Okay, so a step of this thing, find that view, add it. Here in the employees, I enter, last name is Biggs, this is the guy, save it, log in as a Biggs, he has access to that. Okay. I could also make this view as part of his existing responsibility, but that's not advisable in this case, because that would give everybody the access to that same view,
Right.
which we don't want. Right? Now, let's go over this chapter very quickly. Siebel e-business solution access control consists of all mechanisms used to control user access to views and data records in Siebel e-business application. Okay. This is only, I've told you only the access to views. I'll talk about that access to data also in a short while. View level access control, data level access control, access to views. Users require access to different views based on their job function or role. For example, call center agents need access to views displaying service requests. I told you about all this, right? He's saying the call center agents need access to views displaying service requests. This is what he means. Oh, I have to go as admin. This is the view he means. Like he needs access to some of these views. Simple. Corresponds to a user job function or role. Of course, to remember, you basically make sure that it has some correspondence to it. But then if you notice, second responsibility was just ad hoc stuff. That is something that happens too. But in general, when we are preparing the data first time, we ensure that every view is basically tied to a kind of a job function. The grouping should be logical.
Right.
It should be sensible. Adding views to responsibilities. Same views can be added to one or more responsibilities as well. Okay? Right? Assigning users to responsibilities. Users can be assigned to one or more responsibilities. Yes? Multiple responsibilities. They see the union. I have to explain in detail in the chapter 8. What is meant by union? Why does he have to mention? So let's say he has if you look at this diagram, if this responsibility, he has access to desktop responsibility. Let's say he has the access to desktop service responsibility as well. So account and contact views, screens, views will be same. Right? So at that point, those he will see it only once, not twice. Okay? So always other thing is this is good. So other thing is responsibility only can be given at the view level. You cannot say, okay, I'll give him the access to this applet, but not the the other applets in the same view. So access can be provided only at the view level. Other thing is access cannot be provided at the screen level also. You cannot say, oh, I will give the access to this responsibility, I'll give the access of all the views of this screen. You cannot say like this. You have to do one by one. You have to do views one by one. Review. Users' views and responsibilities. Responsibility is determine the set of views to which a user has access.
Right.
Views are associated to one or more responsibilities. User assigned to one or more responsibilities. A user sees the union of all associated views when he or she. Yes. There is one point that I want to make. Users can be assigned to one or more responsibilities. He is trying to make it look like English, but basically we simply understand that he can be given the access to one or two groups also. Because let's say in the very beginning, application administrator creates groups, 7 groups, right? And then one guy wants access to a specific view from the other group. He cannot do anything. He simply creates a new responsibility and make that view a part of that responsibility and give him the access. This is easy. So we do have to create patchwork also. That is the reason we have to give them one or more responsibilities sometimes. But it doesn't mean they have multiple responsibilities from the English standpoint. It has no correspondence to English word responsibility. The same views can be added to one or more responsibilities. Let's say someone has access to desktop sales, other one has access to desktop service, but account and contacts views will be common. So obviously you have to make these views a part of 2 responsibilities. Without this functionality, you are really trying to say that everybody is working on an island, right? It is a set of views to which a user has access, corresponds to a user's job function or role. So I covered responsibility in detail till this point. If a view is not included in a user responsibility, user will not see a reference of the view in the sitemap. Yeah, the way Siebel engine works is, if you don't have the access to the view, then that view will not be present in this. In Siebel 6,
Yeah.
it will not be present here,
Right.
and in Siebel 7, it will not be in the sitemap. It will not be it will not be here also in the tabs. In Siebel 7, it would mean that it won't be here in the tabs, right? Simple. Show drop-down list or detailed tabs or sitemap. If a user does not have the access to any of the views in a screen tab is not displayed. This is the way engine works. Let's say if you have the access to even one view in the account screen, then account screen will show here and it will show in the
On the one way.
in this tab also. Otherwise it will not show. Very simple concept, nothing very special in this. Summary. Describe access control. So chapter 8 complete. So now let's understand what is position. All that is discussed in detail in chapter 9. I'll still start from scratch and understand position, because that is related to data level access control. Alright. So he will access to the views, allow a person to see the view. Simple. There is really nothing very special. If you give him the access to the view, he'll see it. Otherwise he won't see it. This is kind of very simple. Now, other thing is, there are certain views which are very special in nature. They have certain filters in them. For example, my professionals. This is a special view. This has a very special filter. Okay? There are obviously you can make any number of filters from here. Okay, right? You can make any number of filters using this query. then you can save the query. For example, there is a filter here. I can look at only the family practice professionals. I come here, I can see the same, I'm seeing the look at the same filter. But these are all static filters. These are static filters. Like that is the parameters are constant. If you go there, you also want to look at the family practice people. When I go there, I also want to look at the family practice people. So these are static filters. But sometimes your requirement is for a dynamic filter. For example, my professionals. When you go there, you want to see your professionals. When I go in, I want to see my professionals, not yours. Right? Right? Similarly, my team's professionals. When I go there, I want to see my team's professionals. When you go there, you want to see your team's professionals. Similarly, all professionals. All professional does not have any filter. Basically, when you go there, you'll see everybody, and I will go there, I will see everybody. So this is not very special. But my profession is very special. My team's profession is very special. So how does Siebel work in this case? Basically, the way Siebel works is, for every record, it maintains a very simple thing, who it is assigned to. When you log in, it filters by that assignee and then shows you your records. So let's say you log in, okay? AB logs in. So it will store for every record, who does it belong to. So he will know, these 5 records belong to AB. So when AB logs in, he will see only those 5 records here. It's a very simple thing. You know what? Same way Hotmail does this thing. When you log in, you see your emails. When I log in, I see my emails. Do you think they are all stored in a separate table? No. They're stored in the same table. The only thing is, when you log in, it captures your login ID. Then when it is fetching the data from the database, it filters by your login ID. When it is fetching the data, when I log in, it captures my login ID. When it's fetching the data from the database, emails from the database, it filters by my login ID. Right? Simply this, my professional works. My professional works the same way. There is nothing very special in it. Now the question comes to your mind is, how does Siebel ensure that each and every data is related to someone? Right? So the Siebel default rule is, when someone creates a data, for example this one, like you create this one, it will automatically get assigned to the person who is creating it, for example in this one. And by the way, this is a field where the assignees are mentioned. Okay? So now there is a concept of position. So this is called as data level access control. I think Siebel has to maintain that if Siebel wants to provide the access to my professionals. By the way, if Siebel did not want to provide the access to them, if did not want to have a concept of my professionals, then this thing was not required to maintain who this data belongs to. There is no need of that. Right? Simple. Otherwise our profession would have been okay. But Siebel wants to provide this view, my professionals, that's why Siebel maintains who every record belongs to. Okay? Then my team's professionals. For my team's professionals, Siebel does not have to just maintain who this belongs to, who this record belongs to, but also has to remember this guy belongs to which team and who are the other team members in that team. Then what are the records belonging to all those people? So basically Siebel has to maintain a hierarchy of people. Okay? Siebel maintains a hierarchy of people somewhere. I'll show you where it maintains. Okay? This is the person, this is his parent position. So whosoever has the same parent position, that means they are all under the same guy. So they are all team members. Right? So if you and I are team members and I go to my professionals, I'll see only my accounts. But if I go to my team's professionals or accounts, I'll see your accounts as well as my accounts. Okay? Well, just a minute. This is just a subtle point that I won't see mine. I'll see only the other team members' accounts. But it's a subtle point. Conceptually, you understand now. I'll see team stuff there. And to produce that team accounts or records, Siebel needs to maintain this relationship, who all I belong to. Who all belong to my team. Making sense? Now, what is position? Okay? Position is actually nothing, if you ask me. Siebel would have not needed position at all. It simply has to maintain the association of every record with a person. That's what Siebel does here. For example, this professional is associated to Walker Connie, Young Craig, Stone Cindy, Miller Sarah, Torres Patrick, Potter Susan, Kim Jonathan. It belongs to all these guys. Okay, so she will, whenever Connie Walker logs in, she goes to My Professionals, she'll see Connie, she'll see this Mr. Mary Fairfield also. Whatever. And Mary Alexander also. So she'll see this. And whenever Craig Young goes, he goes to My Professionals, he'll see this record as well. So the point is, Siebel would have not needed position had there not been a very big enterprise problem. Let's say, so this is how I represent this issue. I'm just representing these are data. These are account data records. Okay. Actually, this is what I'm really showing.
Right.
Okay. This is what's just my way of showing this thing. All these records I'm showing as a line record.
Right.
This is a simple way of representing a data format. Okay. So Siebel is maintaining a link between all these accounts one by one. Okay, one by one, that this person AB has access to all these accounts. What happens if AB leaves the company? All those accounts will become orphan. Now nobody's going to attend to them. Anyway, not a problem. Let's say John comes in his place. So you will assign one by one all those accounts to John. But there is a problem. Typically, a person, a sales rep would be having about 100 records of account, 200 contacts, 500-600 opportunities, closed as well as the ones which he won, as well as the ones which he closed in the last 10 years. Maybe thousands of opportunities would be assigned to him. Hundreds of thousands of activities assigned. Right? Yes. Now, you have to go in the database one by one, change the pointer to John. Okay? C will solve this problem by introducing an intermediate thing called as bucket. I'm going to call it a bucket. So, it's a placeholder. All the records are not assigned to, all these records are not assigned to AB directly. They are assigned to an intermediate thing. And this intermediate thing is further assigned one by one to every record. So AB is assigned to this thing, intermediate thing, and this intermediate thing is one by one. I'm not making that many arrows, but basically one by one assigned to each and every record. Now when AB leaves, just let him go and assign this thing to that John. New guys. All the records get assigned to John in one shot. This intermediate thing is a ghost entity. User does not need to know about it. It is only for data maintenance purposes. If someone goes, someone comes in, then I can do that easily. You know what? How many people live in a typical company? Let's say you have a 7,000 people workforce. There is a 10% churn of sales reps, which is 700 people. 700 people into, let's say, thousands of data records. That means you need full-time 20 people just to do this work. But if you have, because of this ghost entity, everything, the data maintenance is very easy. One guy goes, next guy comes, you can easily assign it to the other guy. Okay? This intermediate entity is called as position. It has nothing to do with the English word position. It is very misleading in nature. Okay? This position really means the data, instead of getting assigned to the users directly, it gets assigned to the data through this intermediate thing called as positions. So, this data is assigned to as Porter, as you can clearly see, and Cindy Stone. So what is this? What is it I am talking? Actually, that is what I am saying. This is a ghost entity. In the front, it looks like it is assigned to Susan Porter, but if you go right, you will see the position that it is assigned to. It is assigned to primary sales representative, and it is also assigned to clinical research associate 3. It is assigned to delegated customer administrator. So if a new record user comes in and I assign him this position, he will get the access, not Susan Porter. If I give this position to someone, primary sales representative to you, you will see this data, not Susan Porter. Susan Porter, when she will log in, she won't see anything. Because, you see your point? Because data is assigned to a position. And if position is assigned to you, then you will see the data. She won't see the data. Making sense? So, this covers the concept of position quite well. Let's go over the chapters one by one to understand what do we talk about position. So view level access control is basically using responsibilities. Data level access control is using position. There is one more thing that I would like you to understand. Responsibility and position cannot be confused together. They have no correlation. Okay? One, view lets you, okay, if you go into Hotmail, you need, let's say, each and database needs to make sure, so you need to have the access to the emails also. Emails need to be assigned to you. That's one. You need to see the inbox also. Let's say one day you don't receive any email. That means there is no email assigned to you. When you go to inbox, will you see any email? No. Right? Second thing is, let's say emails are assigned to you. One day, because of a hypothetical issue, you go into Hotmail and you don't see the inbox for any reason. But emails have been assigned to you. There are 4 emails that your friends have sent you today. Will you see those emails? No, because you don't have the view. You don't have the page where the emails are displayed. Right? Amazon.com is selling a lot of products on this website. But if that website does not open, then how can you even look at the products? Makes sense? So data is assigned. Data is possible. It is available to you. But then, if you don't have the view, you cannot see it. Making sense? So you need both the things. But does it mean that both the things are same? No. Let me give you a very good example. This example is same as projector and laptop. Let's say you connect your laptop to the projector and you put a JPG file of Britney Spears. Okay. Now, what happens is the projector will be showing Britney Spears. Let's say your projector gets bad, becomes bad, it breaks. Will you say, hey, you know what, the picture is not working properly? We clearly understand projector is not working properly. Let's say by mistake Britney Spears picture gets deleted. Will you say projector is not working properly? No, you cannot make a mistake. Although the end result in both the cases is same, there will be no picture of Britney Spears. Makes sense?
Position and view have to be
Right, on the wall there will be no picture of Britney Spears. But we all have the capability to understand, in one case picture is a problem, in other case projector is a problem. Projector is like Britney Spears picture is like data. So view and data, access to view and data, both is required for you to see that. But if you don't see that, don't come to a conclusion that there is a problem with the data or view. You have to think there will be a problem. There could be a problem in just one of these or maybe both of these. So let's go over the slides one by one. Actually, if you notice, this position-based visibility is only to enable this my professionals, my this thing, my that thing. Had there been no those views, we would have not really worried about assigning the views to someone, assigning the data to someone. There's no need. Just for this purpose. So, controls user access to views in Siebel e-business applications, control user access to data records. Yes, we understand that quite well, much better than he has explained here. Responsibility we understand, adding views to responsibility we understand, assigning users to responsibility we understand, multiple responsibilities we understand this. I think chapter 9 has the position in detail. Let's go over this. After completing this module, you'll be able to describe the difference between master data and customer data. Actually, there is a chapter 9, you need to look at that. There I have explained customer data and master data in detail. Just go to chapter 9 complete to understand that. Controlling access to customer data. Access to customer data can be restricted using the following access control mechanisms. Position based, organization based. So maybe you should do chapter 9 complete for sure, because I have explained, I've just tried to cut down on this thing. Chapter 8 you can skip from that chapter in my main run. but you cannot skip because personal and organization base is not explained here, and I'm going to explain it here again. So you can look at that. You have seen that, right? Personal access control. Okay, position based. Records access is limited to users based on their position within an organization. See, this is very interesting. See, he's trying to make it look like as if position is an English word. Actually, it is not. I'm again and again warning you. It is not. Okay, let me give you a good riddle so that you understand the difference. Let's say there is a person in name of Mac. He leaves and John comes. So manager of John calls the development team or calls the administrator. Dear Mr. Admin, this John is gonna be working on the same clients and he's gonna be working on the same contacts and he's gonna be doing the same operations pretty much. He's gonna be accessing the same, views. Can you please give him, like, can you please make sure that it happens? So, and you know that. So Mac had a responsibility and a position before. When John comes in, then we should give him the same position as well as the same responsibility. Okay? Next video. Let's say manager says, you know what, like Mac was handling these clients and he was working on these contacts and he was having certain privileges, to believe blah blah blah. You know what? This John guy is good. I want him to take over all the responsibilities that Mac was having, but I want to make sure that he can look at all the data records the same way as the guy was looking at, but I don't want him to be able to delete anything, because this John guy is very. I just want him to be able to read anything. Okay. Other than his responsibilities and everything is gonna be same. He's using English word responsibility, so remember that. So tell me, what tweaking will you do in Siebel to ensure that whatever manager is saying that happens? On the front, it looks like, let's analyze this. On the front, it looks like we have to give him the same responsibility because manager is saying that. But that's not true. See, in Siebel, access to records means position, access to the same views means same responsibility. In this case, he's asking for the access to the same data that he should be able to look at the client and contact records, the same ones. So, the position will remain the same. So, if he had the primary responsibility primary sales rep 1, then you should give him the primary sales rep 1 only. That is the one that you should give him. But responsibility has to be different because he will be able to access the same views, but you know that, and then he should be able to, but he should not be able to delete anything. And you know that privileges are tied to the view. So we have to create separate views and we have to give those views to group under a different responsibility, right? And that responsibility should be given to Mr. John, not the previous responsibility. So in this case, answer is responsibility will be different, position will be the same. Similarly, let's say Mac goes and John comes. Manager says, you know what, he's a very nice guy. I just want to be able to, him to be able to do all the tasks. But I don't want him to handle the same clients. He's going to be working in Mac's position. He's going to be sitting at the same place. He's going to be working in his position. But I don't want to handle the same clients, because those are my premium clients. I'm going to assign those to someone else. But he should be, he'll be working in the same position. Just make sure that he can do everything that he was able to do. So, in this case, on the front, he says it will be working on the same position. He's speaking English, right? So, but what is going to happen is, look at the subtle point. He says he's not going to be handling the same clients and contacts. So that means he doesn't want data to be assigned to John. So that means position has to be new. There has to be a different position to Mr. John. Not really will create a new one and just assign it to him. He'll be seeing blank. You go inside anything, he'll see nothing there. But his responsibility will be same because he wants him to be able to do the same operations like delete and all those things. So he should be able to see the same, everything same. The point is, don't go by English word. Go by the ability. Go by the fact that whether he needs the same access to the records or the views. Okay. In this video, chapter 8 is complete, but chapter 9 one needs to do again, because there are so many other small points which are mentioned here which may or may have not been covered in this which are definitely not covered here. They might have been covered in chapter 9 complete.